Mr. Wetzel, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joshua Wetzel, file number 22-02354. Mr. Wetzel, today is the date set for an arraignment on a probation violation. I have a request and summons for probation violation here that alleges that you committed the following technical violations. The allegation is that you failed to adhere to the no contact order on or around December 2nd, 2023, and that you displayed assaultive or threatening behavior on or around December 2nd, 2023. So you have the right to have a contested hearing. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at that hearing. If you're found to be in violation of your probation status, your probation can be revoked. You can be sentenced to serve a term of jail time. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also can have your probation extended, or you can have other sanctions or oversight, including GPS tether added to part of your oversight. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about your rights at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Want to request an attorney to represent you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll note that you're requesting court-appointed counsel to represent you, and we'll set this for a hearing on the probation violation.
January 9th at 1:30.
January 9th at 1:30 will be the date, okay, sir?
Okay, I just have one question, if it's all right with you, Your Honor.
Yes.
I have another court date the same day, I believe, at the same time.
Okay. Which courthouse are you going to? Is it this court?
Yes, ma'am. It was for another DV, I believe. I received the paperwork while I was in jail.
Okay, just a moment. We'll double check.
It's on the 9th, but with Judge Ward at 9.
Yep, you have one on the 9th at 9 a.m. with Judge Ward.
Okay, I was mistaken on the time. Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Any additional questions today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, hang tight and we'll get you in the private meeting room with the public defender in just a moment, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Raleigh, who do you have?
I have Kelsey Alvarado ready.
Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Kelsey Alvarado, file number 19-04939. Counsel appearance.
Prosecutor Kate Petrowski on behalf of the people.
Jacob Raleigh on behalf of Ms. Alvarado.
Okay, so it looks like you were here back on November 27th and you were arraigned on 2 separate violations to which you pled not guilty of those violations. Let's see. Were that you tested positive at Everett Health for alcohol back on November 12th, and then there was a violation alleging that you failed to report in October and November 2023, and that you tested positive on November 5th for cocaine, and that you failed to provide completion of the VIP within 180 days. Are we having a hearing today?
I know, Your Honor, this will be.
Okay, you want to plead to the violations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And so you understand that your rights associated with the probation violations and that you have the right to proceed to a hearing today?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that there are penalties if you plead guilty or if you are found to be guilty of violating your probation status. Is that correct? Okay, and that you understand that those penalties could include a possible jail sentence, or it could be additional sanctions or order to undergo inpatient treatment or other things of that nature. You understand that? Okay, you want to give up your right to hearing today?
Oh, Your Honor.
You said what?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you want to,
Sorry.
I thought you, if you don't, we can have your hearing if you want.
No,
Okay, anybody threatening you to give up the hearing?
no, Your Honor.
Any promises being made to you in exchange for you entering a guilty plea to these violations?
No, Your Honor.
As to violation that you tested positive at EverHealth on November 12th for alcohol with the result of ETG 6,388.14 nanograms and ETS of 599.77 nanograms. How do you plead?
Guilty.
As to the violation that you failed to report to your probation back on October and November 2023, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to the violation that you tested positive at EverHealth on November 5th for cocaine with the result of 598.07 nanograms per milliliter, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And then as to the violation that you failed to provide completion of the MAD victim impact panel within 180 days, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
On factual basis, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Alvarado, is it true that you were sentenced to a term of probation by this court? Second of this year?
Yes.
As part of that, in terms of that probation, true that you were required to report to the probation officer on a schedule?
Yes.
True that you failed to report as scheduled in October and November this year?
Yes.
Is it also true that you were required to submit to random drug and alcohol testing as part of your probation?
Yes.
Is it true that you tested positive for cocaine on November 5th of this year?
Yes.
Is it also true that you tested positive for alcohol on November 12th?
Yes.
And is it true that as a condition of probation, you were required to complete and provide proof of completion of the MAD victim impact panel within 180 days?
Yes.
Is it true that you failed to provide that proof within 180 days?
Yes.
I believe that's a factual basis. One.
Any questions from you, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. Find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. The recommendation of probation indicates that you were previously on Zoom reporting, but you did not provide your AA sheets as required, nor log in as required, and so you were moved to in-person Zoom because in-person versus Zoom because Zoom is a privilege. That it says that you were not doing what you need to do, and that you were told multiple months leading up to October and November that you will not be seen if no AA sheets were emailed in. The recommendation is to continue probation and to add outpatient treatment. They're not requesting or recommending a jail sentence being imposed at this time, but we have multiple violations here. We got 1, 2, technically 3, 4, 5 violations. So I'll let you address the court.
Yeah, yes. On a positive note, I want to note, Your Honor, that Ms. Alvarado has completed the MAD victim impact panel. She has prepared today. She also has logs of her required AA meetings. My understanding is that she perhaps had technical issues and made it difficult to email those to her probation officer, but she does have them on paper today. So I want to note that she has completed those requirements. I also want to note that Ms. Alvarado was also on probation through the circuit court concurrently with this probation. And as part of that, she's been ordered to attend cognitive behavioral therapy at Northwest Initiative, which she is doing as ordered, and she feels that she is benefiting from that therapy. So, Your Honor, I think she has a right outlook. I think she just needs to get on track with her requirements, and I think now that she's on double probation, she's certainly more diligent about keeping up with those requirements.
Does your client want to say anything? Are you still employed?
I am.
So how do you think it's gonna fare well for your employment and for you being on track if you're testing positive while on probation for alcohol and for cocaine?
I'm a leader at my job and I'm a boss, so I do really good there teaching others. I'm not sure.
You think it's, as a good
I don't
leader,
think-
you should be using cocaine?
I'm not really sure how that came out positive. I don't do cocaine and I definitely don't do alcohol, but I did, I just got my wisdom teeth out and I did take NyQuil, but I'm not sure if that will trigger it at all.
That didn't
but
happen from NyQuil.
maybe. That's all.
Yeah, your ETG, it was 6,388.14. So you consumed alcohol. So long as you think that you could come into court and say, I was under the weather and I took some medicine and the courts could possibly buy that, shows me that there's no accountability yet.
Well, when it comes to my job, I mean, my boss thinks that I'm amazing at my job. I get drug tested there and
I'm sure that they think you're amazing at your job, but what I'm asking you is how is it that you think you're gonna continue to be amazing at your job if these are the things that you're engaging in outside of your job? Because if you keep violating my probation, I'm gonna put you in jail. You think you can keep your job if you're in jail?
That's why I'm continuing to do better.
Yeah, that's what we want for you to do better, but you've got to make the decision for yourself. I can't force you. The first step is accountability. Coming in here and telling me you took NyQuil and that's what caused you to have a positive alcohol test. I didn't wake up this morning and learn about ETGs, ATS, okay? You're not fooling me. You were drinking. You didn't accidentally stumble upon some cocaine. You took something that had cocaine in it. And if you're in environments or engaging in activities whereby you can take or ingest something and you don't know and include something as toxic as cocaine, then you have bigger issues than what we probably can address with this course that we have you on here. And so again, you have to take accountability for that if you want to be on the right path. Mr. Rowley standing next to you saying that you're ready to be on the right path doesn't convince me that you're ready to be on the right path. It's what you say and what you do that convinces me otherwise. Okay, I'm going to continue your probation at this time. You're scheduled to be discharged in June, so that gives us sufficient time for you to show and demonstrate to the court that you're not only looking to be on track, but that you're on track. I'm going to order that you participate in outpatient treatment. Your probation officer will provide you with information as to where you can get such outpatient treatment if you don't already have outpatient set up through your other probation status. I'm going to also add a sober link for 90 days. Do you have any questions at this time? Have you already turned in your AA sheets?
I'm going to see her after this.
Okay, very good. I was going to say that you should go down to the fifth floor after here and check in with Ms. Duhosky. Make sure she gets a copy of whatever paperwork she needs. And then you'll continue to report on your report date. When do you report?
On the first Wednesday of every month. What she said that, I did report with her this last Wednesday or the first Wednesday of this month, but she told me to just disregard it and come back to court today.
Okay, do you have any questions at this time?
No, I haven't.
Any additional matters for the record counsel?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're all set, man.
Thank you.
Just gonna take that file out of there.
Are you representing Mr. McCollum?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you want to log in and speak with Mr. Wetzel? Thank you. Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jabril McCollum, file number 22-01756. Appearance, please.
Assistant Prosecutor Peter Petrowski and
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Jabril McCollum.
Okay, this matter was scheduled for a probation violation hearing. And we had reset this because he needed to have an intake done, had that intake. And are we having a hearing today?
No, we are not.
You want to plead guilty, sir?
Yes.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury. Thank you. You can put your hand down. You were previously arraigned and advised of your rights as it relates to probation violations. And the violation again on this matter is that you tested positive for cocaine with the result of 573 nanogram. And you understand that if you're found to be guilty of violating your probation, you could be sentenced to a term of jail time. You understand that your probation can be extended, or you could have other sanctions or oversight imposed if you're found to be guilty of violations. And as to the violation that you tested positive, you're willing to give up your rights and enter a guilty plea to that violation? Anybody threatening you to get you to give up your rights? Any promises being made to you in exchange for a guilty plea? Violation number 13, that you tested positive at Everhealth on October 5th for cocaine with a result of 573 nanogram per milliliter. How do you plead? Factual basis, please.
Okay. Mr. McCollum, were you sentenced to a period of probation in case 22-01756? And as part of that probation, were you ordered to refrain from the use of alcohol or controlled substances without a prescription?
Yes, sir.
And do you deny that and were you also ordered to undergo random testing to check to make sure that you were avoiding those substances?
Yes, sir.
And do you deny that on October 5th, 2023, you did in fact test positive for marijuana and cocaine? So you do admit that you tested positive on that day?
Yeah, it wasn't voluntary.
I can't hear him. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry, it wasn't voluntary.
What does that mean?
I mean, I have bought some I got some marijuana. I do have my marijuana card. Just this week I had been down on my blood, so I have bought some weed off the street. So that can be the only cause for this. I will not gamble and try, knowing that I was this close to my discharge date. I will not gamble and take the risk. You know what I mean? So that could only be the cause of it.
So when you just said under oath that you use marijuana,
Yes, sir.
you weren't aware that you used marijuana?
Yes, ma'am.
You were I'm sorry, that you used cocaine. You weren't aware that you used cocaine?
No, I did not actually use cocaine. The only way that it could show up in my testing is if it was only marijuana. I know that's a strong allegation. That's the only case. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Well, we can pull your results and see if you have marijuana in your system too.
Yes. Okay. I do have my
He did,
marijuana.
Your Honor.
I do have my
He's
marijuana.
got a medical marijuana card. He does suffer from some disabilities. However, on this occasion, he went outside the chain of what is a legal way to purchase and use marijuana, bought marijuana on the street, voluntarily consumed the marijuana on purpose, not realizing that it was laced with cocaine. He did test positive for both marijuana and cocaine.
What do you mean you didn't realize it was laced with cocaine?
I would
You
never-
didn't, it just felt the same when you were ingesting it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, it was like, it made me, was like a nauseous, but I wouldn't say, because I was already under the weather. So I'm thinking that the nauseous was just coming from like the flu, because I had already been throwing up, and I had caught a little bug. So I'm not even thinking nothing of it. I knew it was kind of like different, but I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not assuming that was the case.
So this is the concern that I have. The concern that makes me less inclined to buy this story is a case where you pled guilty to use of cocaine. And this is not your first violation for use of cocaine. This is not the second violation for use of cocaine. This is the third violation for use of cocaine, but your fifth total violation on probation. This is your fifth probation violation.
I thought this was just my third. I'm sorry about it.
No, every time you're arraigned doesn't mean it's just one violation. If your violation sheet lists more than one violation, we arraign you on each violation, possibly at that one time. But this is your fifth total violation. 3 of those violations that you've had were for the use of cocaine, and then the underlying charge is for use of cocaine. For you to come before me today and say, oh no, I didn't use cocaine, I smoked marijuana and I didn't even know it had cocaine in it. You're someone who has experience with cocaine. I don't believe that you could smoke marijuana and not know that it was laced with cocaine. I don't even think that you believe that you were just purchasing marijuana. There's a legal way for you to get cocaine and you didn't do it. I mean, get marijuana, you didn't do it. And now you want to tell me that you went on the streets and you bought some marijuana and it was laced and you didn't know, and that's the only possible way that it could have been in your system.
And this case, yes, ma'am, I have not used, I have not used at all.
Anything else you want to add for your factual basis?
Nothing further.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea, find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. The violation recommendation states, again, this is your fifth violation. It says that this is your third violation for using cocaine. You had one on the 5th of January, one on the 9th of May. And previous violation, it says you have been given treatment in an attempt to help you stay clean, but you continue to use. It says you have been on probation for 10 months with little improvement. Your probation officer suggests terminating probation and sentencing you to a term of jail time, which I agree with. You can make allocution.
Thank you. Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider that it is indeed a very real struggle for Mr. McCollum. He's given an effort. Clearly there have been some failures, but even as a father, Your Honor, he contributes significantly to the life of his 4-year-old son. He has joint full custody and has him 3 or 4 days a week. So he is a contributing member in his family, overcoming significant odds, having been diagnosed legally blind. So we would ask Your Honor to consider a method and or a way of admonishing Mr. McCollum that does not involve taking him out of his household and putting him in jail, perhaps an extension of probation time and or
He's already used this excuse before. The last time he had a violation, I don't know how these got in my system. This is not the first time you use these same excuses. I don't buy it. You know how they are getting into your system. We're not gonna continue to go back and forth with us supervising your unwillingness to make a change in your life. If you want to ingest poisons and damage your body and potentially put yourself at risk for death or being strung out somewhere, I don't see how those things are contributions that are meaningful to your child. I don't see how. Where do you work?
I'm currently not unemployed.
How are you making meaningful contributions to your children and you don't have a job?
I take care of my son every week. I got to take him to school. Well, not me, but I have to buy him rides. It's not like the mother helped me. She run around. So it's like I do everything by myself.
Well, you know, you're not paying for it because you don't have a job.
Yeah, I use my income. I know how to manage my income. I get like $900 a month.
You're not making meaningful contributions to your children if you are using drugs and you're using the money that you're getting on this limited income for drugs. You're trying to tell me that you, with this little bit of money that you just told me you get, that you take care of yourself and a child, and then you still have money left over to buy cocaine. Yeah, you said that to me before when you had benzos and cocaine in your system. You said you had no idea, doesn't know how these substances got into your system. And that was for the second time that you used that excuse. So today will be the third time. And so because you can't figure it out, what we're going to do is going to go ahead and terminate your probation. You're going to be sentenced to 7 days Ingham County Jail. You'll be remanded immediately.
So I'm gonna take it back. Yeah. Take your hat off.
Are you ready with Tijerina?
Yes, we are.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Elisa Tijerina, file number 23-02267, council appearance.
Assistant Prosecutor Paige Petrowski on behalf of the people.
This is the public defender, John Lee, on behalf of Anissa Tijerina.
Okay, today was the date and the time set for pre-trial and operating while intoxicated. And we reset this because there had not been a report received yet. Was there an offer extended?
There was, Your Honor, we would extend, our offer would be to amend the charge to an operating while visibly impaired.
Okay, did your client want to accept that offer?
Yes, she does, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms. Tijerina?
Yes, it is.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, I swear.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. Ms. Tijerina, you're being offered a reduction in charge to plead guilty to operating while visibly impaired. You have the right in that matter to proceed to trial, and you have the right to a jury trial. At the time of your trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence, so you're innocent until proven guilty. You understand that?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses that the prosecution intends to call against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses to your trial or present evidence that you believe further defense to the charge being brought against you. You understand those rights?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And are you willing to give up each of those rights today in order to accept the offer?
Yes, I am.
Has anybody made any threats to you to get you to waive those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Has any promises been made to you in exchange for a guilty plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, I am.
You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that may have impact on your travel or your ability to travel or immigration status that you may be seeking?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your current employer, or you may need to report this conviction on a future job application.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
As to the added count 2 of operating while visibly impaired, how do you plead?
I plead guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Actual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Teaserina, on or about January 22nd, 2023, were you driving in a vehicle on 312 South Hayford Avenue in the city of Lansing, County of Hingham?
Yes, I was.
And do you have any reason to dispute that at that time, your blood alcohol level was greater than 0.08 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood?
No, I do not dispute that fact.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions from the prosecution's office?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, the court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea and find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. The matter will be set for sentencing
February 6th at 9 a.m.
February 6th at 9 a.m. Today is Monday, so no later than Wednesday at 4. I'm sorry, I'm gonna give you till 2:30 Wednesday. You need to report to the 5th floor of City Hall at our probation department, okay? You need to report in person.
Okay.
And then they'll get you set up for your pre-sentence report interview. Your attorney or you need to provide probation with a copy of your assessment, okay?
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll be ordered to undergo a new assessment before sentencing, and you don't need to unnecessarily accrue that expense, okay?
Okay. And you said I need my assessment to the 5th floor when I go to probation?
Yeah, you can, your attorney can either report it to them, or you can sign a release so that they can get it, but you need to make arrangements so that they can get your assessment so that you don't have to get a new one before sentencing, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
For February 6th, will it be in person or over Zoom?
You can be up here via Zoom,
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
no problem. Any other questions that you have?
No.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thanks, thank you.
Great, thank you, you're all set.
Yeah.
Assuming we don't have anybody out there waiting for court, do we?
Tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Was this Mitchell? On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Evan Patrick Mitchell, file number 22-02861. Council Terrence.
Okay, Chelsea, on behalf of the people.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell. Looks like you're back so soon.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It says here, a request and summons for probation violation that you failed to do random testing at Cognitive Consultants back on November 27th and December 4th, according to my amended order from just one day prior, November 27th. And that you were unsuccessfully discharged from IOP for lack of attendance. I have here something that was added to the file from probation indicating on December 12th, 2023, that you failed to appear for drug testing. So I'm assuming that's going to be another violation forthcoming. So you have the right to have a contested hearing. You're well aware of all these rights because we just did this 2 weeks ago, but I'll repeat it. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at your contested hearing. If you're found to be in violation of your probation status, your probation can be revoked, and you can be sentenced to a term of jail time. I can almost promise you that if you're found to be by violation, because this will be the 7th and 8th time, that you will more likely than not be sentenced to a term of jail time. Do you understand that? If you're found to be guilty of these violations, you will more likely than not be sentenced to a term of jail time. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Did you want to request an attorney to represent you?
yes, I do.
To grow into a plea of not guilty on your behalf. Set it for a probation violation hearing, and then you can meet with the public defender today, okay?
Okay.
January 9th at 1:30 in person. Do you have any questions today?
No.
We'll get your copy of your notice, and then you can meet with either Mr. Raleigh or Mr. Lee. They're both back there. Okay? Except for today. Melton? No? Mr. Melton didn't appear?